All right, YouTube. So we're back in the shop. Got the scale. That's pretty nice. Got that from Amazon. So we're gonna mix up some Proseal. I've already got the parts prepped, ready to go, and cleaned up, and they are ready to be Prosealed down. I got my back riveter. I got my back rivet on my pneumatic. Got this set up on the nice side. I love these benches because you can move them around. If you guys want to know how to build them, they're the EAA benches. They're great, especially on the rollers. They move around really well. So we are ready to proceed on back riveting. Yeah, exciting stuff, guys. Exciting stuff. So yeah, we're gonna start and just work through it, get as much as we can. I'm gonna start out with about 10 grams of the Proseal. Mix it up. Put it in my little cup here. Here's the nozzle head there. And I'll grab one of the nozzles and then one of the things. So we'll just mix up 10 grams at a time. See how much we can do with that. And then that will determine what we'll do thing. The Proseal that I got, is about 30 minutes. It starts to kick. After about 30 minutes, there's no way that I'm gonna be able to grab this, especially in this heat. It's about 90 degrees here in the shop without the fan. So what I'll do is mix up about 10 grams, see how many I can do, and then yeah, it's a learning curve. I've never done this before. Of course, I've done the edges, but I used the already mixed up Proseal already in the gun like that. You get it already done. You just mix it and then squirt it out. So yeah, so a lot of learning here, and we'll do what we can do, and I'll just kind of post you. You guys know the routine. I will post a note or a video if I think there's something that you need to be aware of. All right, YouTube. So I got the first one done. I used 10 grams of the Proseal, and I will tell you, each time you use one of these cartridges, I'll show you the cartridge, you're not going to be able to reuse it. And the reason being is because, this got Proseal on me, it plunges all the way down. So you're not going to be able to reuse these. So you can't do one. I was thinking I could do one, pull the plunger out, start over again. Can't do that. So I use 10 grams of the A, and then with 1 gram of the B. And that's all I got right there. So I'm thinking I'm gonna make up a bigger batch and see how many I can do. One thing I am gonna do though is I'm gonna tape everything off. If you've noticed, I didn't tape this one here, and you can see the mess. I mean, I've seen worse. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna tape. And so I'm gonna go ahead and just tape everything off all the way down and everything. So that way I'm ready to go, and then I can pull it off, and hopefully we can keep our mess down a little bit. So yeah, so this is an experiment, right? I'm learning, I'm sharing so you guys can learn and share. I am gonna run another bead in there and then smush it in. I am using popsicle sticks. This one here, good fillet there all the way down. The main thing I'm looking for, and you might want to have a flashlight if you don't have good light, is you want to look for air bubbles inside here when you do the fillet. Look for air bubbles because that will pop, and those are your voids. That's where you're going to have issues. So yep, I got to mix up. I got to get going because I don't want that to kick until I get the other stuff on it. All right, YouTube.
Playing from iPhone.
Well, hello. All right, YouTube. There we go. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ribs in. I will have to say the tape definitely does a better job. That is with no tape, right? And that is with tape. So the tape definitely does a better job, makes it cleaner. For me, so I used 50 grams of the Proseal, and I got 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was nothing left in the containers. I got 4 out of those. I probably could have stretched it and got 5. Probably could have, but I didn't. So, yeah. So lesson learned, right? So one of the things I will tell you, and let me kind of get you guys down here, better angle. Sorry for the noise, but so yeah. So I got the fillets in, just using the popsicle sticks and everything. I don't know if I like that. I'm inspecting here. Oh yeah, that's in. There's no ridge there. It looked like there was a ridge underneath where it didn't go underneath, but that's just the ridge of the fillet. Let's inspect it with a light. So yeah, so you're gonna do a hybrid, or I had to do a hybrid approach. The reason being is the gun, well, there'll be so much excess. So what you do is you take your popsicle stick on the excess and then you butter your next one with it. And then you use your gun to fill in any of the spaces or whatever. And then you'll do that continually. So so you'll take your gun, right, and you'll spray it down or just put a light bead on there, set it on. There'll be enough ooze out or enough squeeze out that when you squeeze that, you can either throw that away, which is a waste, or you can take the next piece and use it to butter up the next piece. And that's what I did, and that worked beautifully. As far as running your fillet, so typically what I do is, if you look at the angle, just kind of the whole goal, see, I could even take more off of there. Look at there. And that's how I fill it. And it looks really, really good, if I say so myself. All right. So, and then you'll have excess a little bit, so you can take this, you know, you don't want to work it too much as it's curing up, but just kind of run it. Wow, that looks really good. This side looks great. It's that back side, and let me tell you what's the challenging part. See this back side? This is a straight edge right here, right? So that's gonna fill it really well. This is rounded. So it's very important that the squeeze out, that you get really good squeeze out past this rounded piece. If you're not getting enough squeeze out, you're not putting enough material here in the center, right? This should squeeze out. Now the goal is, now Vans tells you to build a ridge in the center and then taper it down towards the edges. If you use the gun, the nozzle, I just run a good solid bead all the way across those, and that gives me, I mean, look, I mean, that's how much squeeze out I'm getting on each one of those. So it's really, it works. Like I said, I'm really happy. I'm happy with it all so far. And how it turned out, you can tell you no tape, and it's obvious. I could have cleaned this up with acetone. You know what? I'm not going to get close to it. I don't want to break that chemical up in there. And we can actually run a nice little fillet here and see if we can get that. Push that in there a little bit more. I mean, there's not a whole lot coming off of that, and most of that came off of that was off of the top part anyways. So I'm really happy, really, really happy with those, how they fill it. Of course, I used a straw. Vans tells you, has a metal thing. I just took a straw, and then with my excess that I got, and you will have excess, dipped it in, twirled it to seal up all of those rivets. So this, yeah, I got this done. Not as much as I wanted to, but I'm happy with what we've done, or what I've done. Now but you join me, so we in here. Now, the rule of thumb, give it 2 days. So I'm gonna let it sit for 2 days before I come in here and manipulate it. What I have to do is the other side. Then I got to flip the tables around, and it's a pain in the butt to do that. to do that in such a small, dirty, crappy space. This place is a wreck. I got to get in here and get some cleaning done. But on that note, I want to share something with you guys. I did go over, and there it is, Marion County Airport. I didn't get a hat when I signed the lease for the hangar, but they had hats, so I bought one. So yeah, so we should be, final inspection on the hangars will be today or tomorrow. And so we should be getting occupancy permits starting, they're saying September 1, which is fine with me. So we are going to be moving out of here and moving into our hangar. And oh my gosh, they are nice. It's a brand new hangar. Built from scratch. I'm not getting a used hangar. Has its downsides. Obviously, I can't say, well, I didn't nail that up there. It's a brand new hangar, but more importantly, it's not facing the sun. The other thing is I do have a swamp cooler that I can run in there to cool things down and everything. But yeah, it's hot in here today. I am sweating. The hardest part, look, I mean, I love building these airplanes. I mean, but I will tell you this is monotony here. This is building these tanks because obviously you want to build them right. So you got to go slow, but you do have a certain amount of time that this Proseal is good for. It's about 30 minutes is what I'm finding. After that, it starts to kick, especially in 90, 92 degree heat. Number one. Number two, it's about 93, 94 in here right now. AC's not running for some reason, even though I'm paying for AC. It's not running, and the fans, when the fan is on, it just blows this part a lot. It moves this this piece a lot, and it just makes it really, really annoying, and everything. Oh, that's the other thing. If you get some Proseal on your skin, go ahead and get some acetone. It will come right off with some acetone on a rag. I would recommend not get, like, I could get in there and get that. I just don't want to break that chemical bond. So you got a mechanical, so you got two things going on here. You got a mechanical bond and you got a chemical bond. The mechanical bond obviously is the fasteners, the rivets. That's what pulls it down. The chemical bond is the Proseal on both on the pieces coming together and everything. So you don't want to break that bond with any chemicals. You don't want to get any dirt. Now, one of the things you do, I would highly recommend get a flashlight. You will see. Now, I've already taken them out. I wish I could have showed you. Let me see if I can get in there. But you will see bubbles. Is that, nope, that's not a bubble. In your piece, you need to bust those bubbles. And the reason being, there's a little, I don't know if you can see that. See, that's why you take a flashlight. See that little lip right there? There's a little piece. Now I know it's sealed underneath, so I'm not too concerned about it. And watch, I'll probably just mess it up even more. You know what they say about a good artist? A good artist knows when to stop. But I'm not an artist, so that rule doesn't apply to me. So yeah, you want to, let me see if I can find somewhere where I gooped. Where I have a goop, oh, duh, I got a whole edge right here. So yeah, I mean, the whole idea is to, if you think, and Vans has a great video on this, if you keep the fuel or what you're trying to seal out of the part to begin with, you don't have any problems. So let me smooth that out. There it goes. There you go. Beautiful. So take a flashlight. See, that lip is gone now. And that's it. Made a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. I've seen a lot worse. So yeah, so take a flashlight and run it down your fillet and look for bubbles. Look at where it's not seated on both the skin. And that's really good there. I mean, that fillet looks great. They all look good, actually. And that's the main thing, is you got to just make sure your fillets when you do your fillets that they don't have bubbles in them, because it's the bubbles. So what happens is, I can promise you that it's the bubbles that cause most of the leaks. Guys will do this and it will get a bubble in there. And as the Proseal is drying, yeah, there's none, perfect. So as the Proseal is drying, it's gonna constrict a little bit. And when it constricts, you're gonna get a pinhole. Just a slight, ever so slight pinhole. And liquid's gonna find, especially pressurized liquid, is gonna find itself into that. And if that has a bubble, that fuel or that liquid will get inside that bubble and then wear away. You've seen the Grand Canyon, right? The power of a liquid. Now, you shouldn't be too concerned about the corrosiveness of the fuel. Proseal is geared for that. It's made for that. Proseal is also made to. It's very flexible. This is what they use to seal up pressurized airplanes. So it is flexible, and it resists. But if you got a hole, you got a hole. It doesn't matter. You can build the best boat, with the thing. You put a hole in it. Fuel is going to find its thing. So the rule of thumb is you want to first keep the fuel. So you actually have on a fuel tank, you have three chances to keep the fuel from leaking. First is the outermost piece, which is the fillet, right? Second is the gasket that you build between the parts. So you want to make sure you don't want to just put rivets. Obviously, the fuel's not going to leak through the skin, but a lot of people will just put here, because this is where the fuel's going to leak. It's through the rivet hole. So they'll just put the Proseal there, or they'll put their sealant there. Well, yeah, but the problem is this. What happens if fuel breaks this seal here and gets here, and then it starts wearing away until it finds to the rivet and then finds itself outside. So the whole idea is you want this whole piece to be sealed. You want it sealed all the way through. So the first line of defense is this fillet. The second line of defense is the gasket that you make. The gasket that you make here, right, on the part itself. The third line of defense is the rivet holes, right? So if you got a good gasket on the bottom and you seal these rivets up, and don't skimp, but if you seal those rivets up, basically what I did is if I saw a rivet head sticking out, I would put more Proseal. So don't skimp on that. So that's your 3 lines of defense on sealing it up, sealing up a fuel tank. How do I know this? Because Vans told me so. There's a great video. Vans has I gotta leave it alone. I'm gonna mess it up because I can't keep my hands off of it. Vans has got a really great video on doing the fuel tanks, and I highly recommend that you guys watch those videos. Just looking to make sure we got good on the back side. There we go. See, I'm gonna mess stuff up because I just can't leave things up. I like doing this, actually. It's nerve-wracking as heck, but it is kind of fun. So yeah, so there you go. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the ribs in, 5 of the stiffeners in. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more to go. And so I'm gonna be 2 days. You gotta let this, I don't wanna mess with this for 2 days. So I'll be out of here for about 2 days, and then we'll come back and hopefully we'll do 5 more. Maybe we'll do 7, I don't know. We'll do what we can do, right? It's not a race and everything. So, I can already tell you, I really am not too keen on finishing up doing the gas tanks in here. I want to do them at the hangar. Just these gas tanks, we're going to need room. We're going to need space. And as you guys can see, we're just out of space. I got so much junk in here, though. Got to get cleaned up. All right, that's enough of that. Been rambling. I just want to say thanks for joining me. Leave a comment, question, concern about the airplane in the comment section. Tell your friends about us. And like always, get out, go flying. Go flying and enjoy the gift of flight. You know, and if you're not a pilot, go get a pilot's license or go out and fly with a pilot. It's a blast. Highly recommend it. It's definitely not overrated. So, like always, God bless, be safe, and keep your family safe.